Yo, what's good YouTube? It's NBA 2K22 updates here, and today we have a video of halfway through the season it's the All-Star break, and I am going to rank all 30 point guards in the NBA, and please like and subscribe if you'll enjoy this video. And yesterday I had a video of the update that NBA 2K22 had across all generations and platforms. So go watch that if you're interested. And I did find out that 2K Specialist, the mod website for PC NBA 2K users, actually used my video in one of their posts. So a big thank you to them. That's why my last video blew up so much. Thanks to them. And let's get into the video. The 30th best starting point guard in the NBA, in my opinion, is Raul Neto for the Washington Wizards. Neto is not really built to be a starting point guard. Their team was much better when Spencer Dinwiddie was on the team and Neto was the backup. But now they are starting Raul Neto, is I guess how you pronounce his name. They're starting him at the point guard now. And it's not terrible, but you definitely don't want a guy that doesn't really have any starting point guard experience to be your starting point guard. But that's what he is with this team. And this season he's averaging 8 points, 2 rebounds, and 3 assists, 45, 24, 75 shooting, and 49 games played. And he's only started 5. But he's been starting ever since the trade deadline because I don't think Ish Smith has started in a single game with the Wizards. But Ish Smith was here last year, but now it is just Raul Neto. Or, excuse me, I keep saying it wrong. It's Raul Neto. He's the only really starting point guard caliber player on this roster. Next is, at number 29, Alec Burks of the New York Knicks, who's not really a point guard, but Derrick Rose is out with an ankle injury. I'm not sure when he's going to get back. And they agreed yesterday that Kemba Walker will not play the rest of the season, and they aren't going to buy him out. So they could sign another player, but Emmanuel Quickley has not been starting really this season. It's kind of just been Alec Burks when Walker and Rose aren't playing, and Rose doesn't start anyway, so I think Alec Burks will be the starting point guard unless they pick up somebody on the buyout market. But Burks is averaging this season 11, 4, and 3, but when he has been playing at the point guard position, he has not been playing as good as when he's coming off the bench and playing either point guard or shooting guard. He hasn't been that good in the starting lineup. But if he does start doing really good, I am going to make another one of these videos at playoff time, so he could be a much higher player on my list by then. At number 28 is Orlando Magic rookie Jalen Suggs, who was the 5th overall pick from Gonzaga. Suggs was supposed to be a very NBA-ready prospect who could score the ball efficiently, but he has not been. That has not been translating great to the NBA. He has been a pretty decent player, but not as good as people thought he would be if he was drafted by the Raptors. People thought that he deserved to go even 3 to the Cavaliers, but he has been averaging 13 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists per game on 37, 23, 77 shooting, and 39 games played. But that is on a very bad Magic team. It was between him and Cole Anthony for the official point guard of the team. I think Jalen Suggs is more of the point guard and Cole Anthony is the shooting guard. But Suggs does find himself at 28 because this is a very good position in the NBA. At number 27, this is kind of a surprise to some people, but I have Corey Joseph from Texas, the 30-year-old player in his 10th season in the NBA. I really think that he is a pretty good point guard. He has been helping the Pistons this year, starting alongside Cade Cunningham. This season, he's averaging 8 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 4 assists on 47 games played, shooting 45, 43, 85, with a 53 effective field goal percentage, which is pretty decent for a point guard. And I really like what he brings to this team. He has not been playing that many minutes per game, at only 24 per game, which is not that many for a starting point guard, but I like what they've been doing, starting him at point guard and taking Killian Hayes off the bench, and then putting Cade Cunningham at shooting guard and taking like a Hamidou Diallo off the bench at that position. I really like what they're doing. Corey Joseph is a very good player, and he still has a lot left in the tank. He is a free agent after the season. I think a contender might offer him like a 1-year, $5 million contract after what he's been doing this year. At 26 with the Houston Rockets is Dennis Schroeder, who's not really their starting point guard, but at the same time he kind of is. He has been starting lately with Kevin Porter Jr. off the bench and injured. I'm not sure. He has been either injured or coming off the bench. I think he might be injured. But right now it is Dennis Schroeder, who they got at the trade deadline. Schroeder is a good basketball player, but he was not playing that good with the Celtics. He has been good with the Rockets so far this season, but he used to be much better. This year is a down season for him, but his stats are still very good at 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in 52 games, 44, 34, 85 shooting. In 29 minutes per game with the Rockets, he has averaged 12 points and then 4 rebounds and 8 assists. So he has been playing really good with the Rockets, but I think that it's just a bad team, so he gets more touches than he would get on a team like the Lakers. And this is looking like a terrible decision for Schroeder not taking that big contract that the Lakers offered him in the offseason. If he would have taken that, that would have helped the Lakers, because then they wouldn't have had cap space to sign Russell Westbrook, and the entire NBA would look completely different right now. At number 25, I have Denver Nuggets point guard Monte Morris. Jamal Murray will not be in this ranking because even though he does have a chance to come back this season, he has not played, so we don't know what he's going to look like. But Monte Morris is a 26-year-old, 6'2", 183 point guard from Iowa State. He was the 51st overall pick a few years ago. And so far this season, he's been a really good shooter for the Nuggets team. But him and Facundo Campazzo have been swapping out the starting point guard role. And Morris is a good three-point shooter. His stats so far in the season are 13 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists in 52 games played. But I really think that this team will start doing better once Jamal Murray comes back. I think Monte Morris is a good player, but I don't think that he's better than some of the upcoming players on this list. At number 24, we have Los Angeles Clippers point guard Reggie Jackson, who is a 31-year-old from Boston College, was the 24th overall pick by the Oklahoma City Thunder in 2011. And this season he's been scoring really good. And now that Norman Powell is out, the Clippers don't really have any players. It's really just him and Marcus Morris. And then Amir Coffey, Nicholas Batum, and Zubats. And then I guess Luke Kennard can help you. But this team will be run mostly by Reggie Jackson in the upcoming games. This season, he's averaging 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 4.5 assists in 57 games. And he's been shooting 40, 33, 84 shooting splits. And he started all 57 of the games this season. He has been a very impactful player for the Clippers this year. And once Kawhi Leonard and Paul George come back, whether it be in the playoffs next season, at the end of this season, he will provide a great presence to that team with a starting lineup most likely consisting of Reggie Jackson, Norman Powell, Paul George, and Kawhi Leonard. It will be a fun team to watch. It will be a great team, and I think that with that starting lineup, they will be championship contenders. But I think Zubats is a free agent this offseason, so they do need to re-sign him. At number 23 is Russell Westbrook, who a few years ago probably would have been top 5 in the rankings. But this season, he's been playing terrible. And this may be a pretty high rank. Like, he probably should have been a little bit lower on the list, like number in the late teens. But I really think that this is what Russell Westbrook is now with the Lakers at 33 years old from UCLA. He was the 4th overall pick in the 2008 draft, right behind O.J. Mayo, Michael Beasley, and Derrick Rose. But this season, he's averaging 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 7.5 assists on 44, 30, 67 shooting. And he's played 57 games this season. And actually, his career game played total is at an even 1,000. So he just played his 1,000th game right before the All-Star break. But he has not been very efficient this season. I think he probably could have been ahead of who I have at 22. But in years past, like last season with Washington, he was averaging 22 points, 12 rebounds, 1 steal, and 12 assists. So he was really good last season. He averaging a triple-double on the year. This year, he's not playing very good. And I think what really made me rank him this low is that I'm used to seeing him play at a very high level. I think that's why most people are saying that he's not very good anymore, is because they're used to seeing him play at a high level. If you look at his stats, they aren't bad at all this season, but compared to what he's averaged in previous years, that's why I think people may think that he's not as good this year. But at number 22 is 76ers point guard Tyrese Maxey. I think James Harden is going to be a shooting guard, but obviously he wouldn't be at 22 either. So I think Tyrese Maxey is probably tied with Russell Westbrook for 22, or Westbrook might be higher, but I think personally that might be how it is in some of your rankings, but for me, I think Tyrese Maxey right now is tied with or better than Russell Westbrook. I don't think Westbrook is better this season. Playing with a championship contender 76ers team led by Joel Embiid, Maxey has been averaging 17 points, 3.5 rebounds, and 4.5 assists on 47, 39, 87 shooting in 51 games played. And Maxey has been most of the part of the 76ers being that good, such a good team. They traded Ben Simmons, but Ben Simmons wouldn't have even started over Tyrese Maxey, I don't think, at point guard if he were to come back for the 76ers. Now they have Harden, but I really think that Harden will start at shooting guard. Some people are thinking that Harden will start over Maxey, but I really don't think that that's what you do, because Maxey is a quality basketball player who deserves a starting spot in the NBA. And Harden does too, obviously, as a really, really good player. And I think that they should both start, and neither one should come off the bench. At 21 is Oklahoma City Thunder rookie from Australia, Josh Giddey, who in 2K is listed as a shooting guard and Shea as a point guard, but I think it's the other way around mostly in real life. Giddey is playing outstanding this year, a 6'8", 205-pound point guard, 19 years old, Australia product, 6th overall pick. He is now the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple-double, and yeah, you could say that's empty stats, but when Luka Doncic was the youngest to do it, he was on a team with just Dirk Nowitzki and Harrison Barnes. Not really that good of a team either. So I really don't think it's empty stats with Josh Giddey. Otherwise, it's empty stats with Luka Doncic too in his rookie year when he did it. I think Josh Giddey is very good. He deserves more respect. He's averaging so far on the season 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists on 42, 27, 70 shooting. 53 games played. I think he has an outstanding basketball IQ. He's actually developing his shot. And that's like one of his biggest weaknesses. So once he develops his shot fully, he could be looking at like one of the best rookies from that draft class, right behind Evan Mobley and Scotty Barnes and Cade Cunningham. I think Giddey could turn into a future superstar, but right now I think 21 is a good spot for him. At number 20, I have Damian Lillard's replacement, Anthony Simons, who's been playing outstanding this season with the Portland Trailblazers, with Damian Lillard having abdominal surgery and being out for so long. Simons has been in the starting lineup, averaging 17 points, 3 rebounds, and 4 assists on 45, 40, 89 shooting splits in 53 games played. He started 26 games. The other games were Damian Lillard was playing, but Simons has shown flashes of future All-NBA potential. I think he could even get there in the near future if Damian Lillard does get traded and they just give the full keys to Simons. Going into the season, I don't think anybody was expecting him to be that good. He wasn't that viewed as a starter even, unless some people might have viewed him as a starter at shooting guard if they were to trade C.J. McCollum. But now with Damian Lillard out, Simons has got the keys to the offense. He has been playing tons of minutes per game. He has averaged 29 minutes per game, and he's been playing outstanding this season. I think in the next season or two, he could be a top 15 point guard in the league, just not yet. But he is only 22 with loads of potential. At number 19, we have Chicago Bulls' Lonzo Ball. Ball was the second overall pick to the Los Angeles Lakers from UCLA 4 years ago. And so far with the Bulls, he has been playing outstanding. I actually think he might kind of be tied with Anthony Simons for 19 because Simons has just been that good this season. But on the year, Lonzo Ball has averaged 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, shooting 42, 75, with a 57 effective field goal percentage in 35 games. But he has been missing a ton of games lately due to knee surgery. He tore his meniscus. He's been out for a few weeks now, and he's expected to be out for a full 6 to 8 weeks timeline. And he hasn't played since the middle of January, so he should be coming back at the midway point in March, maybe even the beginning of March if the Bulls are lucky. But Ball has been playing great next to Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan this season, with Nikola Vucevic even looking better lately. This team is looking like they are a championship contender, and Lonzo Ball has been helping a ton on this team. He is only 24 and also has a lot of potential. At number 18, I have Minnesota Timberwolves point guard D'Angelo Russell. Russell is a 26-year-old from Ohio State University. He was, I think, the second or third overall pick in the 2015 draft. Second overall, 8th year in the NBA. He was a very good player with Brooklyn in 2018-19 when he completely carried them to the playoffs. And then he was even good with Golden State and when he started off in Minnesota. But last year he had a down year. This year he's averaging 19.7 rebounds and 3.5 assists, 7 assists and 3.5 rebounds, which is better than he has been last season, but not as good as when he was with the Warriors. He's shooting 41, 35, 80 from the field, which is pretty good. And He's played in 45 games, and he's not come off the bench in any of them. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he started all 45 games, but Russell is a pretty good player, and he has been looking really good with Karl Anthony Towns, who's one of his friends. They have been playing very good together this year with the Timberwolves, and rising star Anthony Edwards, who could be a potential superstar in the next few years. But D'Angelo Russell has been helping this team, and he's one of the reasons that they are looking to be in the play-in tournament for the first time in many years. At number 17, we have Pacers point guard Malcolm Brogdon. And you could say Tyrese Halliburton is the point guard. He has been starting there recently, but I classify him as a shooting guard because when he was with De'Aaron Fox, he was the starting shooting guard, and that was most of the season. So I do think Brogdon is the point guard of this team. Malcolm Brogdon is a very good NBA player with lots of experience, and he was even the Rookie of the Year a few years ago. He has not been a outstanding player since last season. This year, he's only averaging 18.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists on 45, 31, 86 shooting and 28 games. He has not played that much due to many injuries, but he is coming back this week. And hopefully we get to see him in the starting lineup next to Tyrese Halliburton, and I think that these two could be a good duo for the rest of the season. Malcolm Brogdon can be traded starting in the offseason, and I expect the Pacers to trade him due to his large salary, which I think is in the 30 millions. I really think that he will get traded this offseason for a package of young players and draft picks. So it's really just this season that we'll get to see him with Halliburton, but this season, the rest of the season is better than no seasons. At number 16, we have Kings point guard De'Aaron Fox, who is a very good player. He was looking like a potential superstar a few seasons ago, even last season, averaging 25, 3.5, and 7 last season. And it has only played, this is only his 5th season played, and this year he's averaging 22 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And now he does get the full guard duties with only Dante DiVincenzo and Davion Mitchell contending for a spot at guard instead of Tyrese Halliburton and others. But Domantas Sabonis will help this team, and Harrison Barnes, but Rashawn Holmes has not been playing that much lately. But this team is looking like they could be in the playoffs or play-in tournament for the first time in nearly 20 years. And De'Aaron Fox is the big reason of that. This season he's shooting 46, 27, 75, so pretty efficient. And he's played in 48 games. He's barely missed any games. I think the only games they missed were due to health and safety protocols. But he is a really good player on this Kings team, and that's why he finds himself at number 16 in my rankings. Now, number 15 is a player that's not really a point guard, but in the previous few games with the Pelicans, he has been starting at point guard. And I know I did say that Tyrese Halliburton did not count as a point guard because he started at shooting guard most of the year. But CJ McCollum, I think, actually will start at point guard for the rest of the year, unlike Halliburton. McCollum is a 30-year-old shooting guard and point guard from Lehigh University. He is a really good shooter and scorer in general. He's not that good on defense, but he has been helping the Pelicans already this season with Brandon Ingram and Jonas Valanciunas. And this season he's averaging 21 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 5 assists in 41 games played, shooting 45, 39, 72. But with the Pelicans only, he's averaging 28 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists per game, which is really good. He is the only like a superstar on this team other than Brandon Ingram. Because I don't personally think Jonas Valanciunas is a superstar. But CJ McCollum, if he was playing like this all season, probably would have been an all-star. But, of course, with the Blazers at the start of the season, he was not playing as good as he is now. But McCollum is a great scorer, and I think he can help this team next year with Zion to become a top 5 seed in the Western Conference. Now we have 2 players tied at the 13th spot. The first of which is Utah Jazz point guard Mike Conley Jr. Conley is a really good veteran point guard in this league who is a great playmaker and can shoot really well. He's not the best defender, but he's not even bad on defense, which is why he's such a good player, because he can do everything I just stated, and he is also a good defender. And he's averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists this season on 44, 41, 84 shooting. And 52 of the Jazz's games this season. Conley is a good player. Him and Donovan Mitchell are going to be on the team together for the next few seasons, and Rudy Gobert as well. So this team better not blow it up, because I really like this trio. And I think that they still could do something in the playoffs in the next few years. The next player tied at 13 is Kyle Lowry of the Miami Heat, who has been helping as a playoff experience player, and he's been an outstanding playmaker, and he is just a leader on this team. He's brought a ton of leadership to the team, and he's one of the main reasons why they're the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference right now. This season, he's averaging 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists on 42, 35, 84 shooting, and 46 games played. He's a very good player. Obviously, with a team that also has Tyler Hero off the bench, Jimmy Butler, and Bam Adebayo, he's not going to play as good as he was with the Raptors, where he put up some really good stats, including the 2017 season, where he averaged 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists. But he is also 35 years old, but he has been helping this team a ton, which is why he is tied at 13. At number 12, we have Kyrie Irving, who has not played that much this season, but he is the starting point guard of the Nets, and the state of New York might lift their vaccine mandate, so Kyrie Irving might be able to return as a full-time player in the NBA. Irving is a pretty good basketball player. Obviously, he is an outstanding ball handler and playmaker, and he can just do a ton of things with the ball that many people can't do. He's fun to watch and everything. And he has averaged 24 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists this season in only 14 games because he did not get the COVID vaccine, so he could not play. But he's shooting 45, 37, 92 this year and has been really helping the Nets now that Kevin Durant is out. And right now, with Kevin Durant out, until Ben Simmons returns, it's really just him, Seth Curry, and Andre Drummond on this team. But it's been working. This team has won a few of their last games. And Kyrie Irving has obviously been really helping with that. He is a great player, and I feel like if he would have played 20 more games this season, he would have been an all-star, because Jimmy Butler only played in 30 games because of a big injury at the beginning of the season, and he was an all-star. So I feel like Kyrie Irving would have got the same if he would have only played more games. At number 11, Kyrie Irving, LaMelo Ball, the brother of Lonzo Ball, who was at 19. LaMelo is a really good player. He played overseas instead of college, and he was the 3rd overall pick in last year's draft. And last year he was averaging 16 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists. This season, in his first All-Star appearance as a All-Star replacement, he is averaging 20 points, 7 rebounds, and 7 assists. So obviously he's up from last year, and that's obviously why he was voted into the All-Star game. So he has been helping this Hornets team. He's the main player on the team, also with Miles Bridges and Terry Rozier. This team has been pretty good this season, and mostly it's because of LaMelo Ball. At number 10, I have Drew Holiday of the Milwaukee Bucks, who I think deserved to be an NBA All-Star over Chris Middleton. Middleton has not been that good this season compared to previous years, but he still was voted into the All-Star game. Drew Holiday did not make it, but he is a very good player. Drew Holiday is probably the best perimeter defending point guard in the NBA. The only real competitor he has for that title is DeJounte Murray. But Holiday is a 31-year-old point guard. He was drafted in 2009, 17th overall from UCLA to the Philadelphia 76ers. He only has, if I'm not mistaken, one All-Star award. Yes, only one All-Star appearance in his career, and it was with Philadelphia. But he has a lot of defensive teams, 3 of them. And this season he's averaging 18 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 51, 41, 76, and 47 games. He's been a very good player this year for the Bucks. And I really think he should have been an All-Star, maybe even over LaMelo Ball. Holiday has just been that good this season. And he was a big help last season to the Bucks winning their first championship in 50 years. At number 9, we have DeJounte Murray of the San Antonio Spurs, who I mentioned was probably the only real competitor for Drew Holiday for being the top defending point guard in the NBA. And Murray was also a first-time All-Star like LaMelo Ball. This season, he was an All-Star replacement for the injured Draymond Green. And this season, DeJounte Murray has been averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, and 9 assists per game, shooting 46, 32, 76 from the field, or 76, and he has and he's played in 52 games, But Murray has been an outstanding player. He was known for his defense, but this season is the year when his offense has finally started to become great. And if he can develop his offense even further, he could be a top 5 point guard in the league in the coming years. He's only 25 years old and has a lot of potential. At number 8, we have another first-time All-Star, Darius Garland, and this one may surprise a few people. It was between him and DeJounte Murray, but Garland is the 8th best player, in my opinion. He is pretty much him and Jared Allen are the only main reasons that the Cavaliers are as good as they are this season, which is actually really good compared to previous years. And Allen and Garland both were All-Stars this season for the first time, and they have had a great, Darius Garland has been lobbing the ball to Jared Allen. He has had a lob threat. That's what I was trying to say, excuse me. But this season, Darius Garland has been averaging 20 points, 3 rebounds, and 8 assists in 47 games played, shooting 48, 38, 91. He's been a very good player this year, and he really deserved that All-Star selection. At number 7, we have another first-time All-Star, the 27-year-old Fred VanVleet, 6'1", 187-pound point guard, who is an outstanding scorer. He is a one-time NBA champion with the Raptors in the Kawhi Leonard year, and now he is also a one-time All-Star This season, he's averaging 22 points, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 42, 41, and 87 in 50 games played. He is now a first-time All-Star, like I said, but he is an insane scorer, which is why his his points per game is so high. He can also pass the ball very well, though. He's not the greatest defender in the world, but he's a little pesky guy that can get in there and get steals from good ball handlers. But he can score and he can play make well too, which is why he is a All-Star. At number 6, we have a player that's not been very good this year. Damian Lillard, but we already have Anthony Simons, so I must have messed up. But Damian Lillard, just to keep it short, is actually no, we have 31 players on the list because I had tied McCollum and Lowry. Okay, yeah. But Damian Lillard has been very good in years past with Portland, averaging 30 points in each of the last 2 seasons, and he would have been a candidate for number 1 in those years as the number 1 point guard in the league. But he wasn't even an All-Star this year for the first time since 2012-13, which was his rookie year. Even his second year, I'm pretty sure that 2014 meant he was an All-Star in his second year. This season, he has had good stats, though, averaging 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists, shooting 40, 30, 88, but he has only played 29 games due to an abdominal injury that he's had since last season, and he's most likely out for the season this year, and most likely the playoffs as well. But either way, Lillard is a good player, and I hope to see him back on the court soon. At 5, we have Atlanta Hawks point guard Trae Young. Young is an insane three-point shooter, not the best defender in the world, but he was an All-Star this year. Him and Steph Curry are similar players where they're insane playmakers and shooters as well as scorers, but they can't play defense very well. That's what Trae Young is, and I think in the next few years he could turn into Steph Curry. And I really don't think that that's too big of a stretch. I feel like he could be the next Steph Curry once Curry retires. This season, he's averaging 28 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists on 46% from the field, 38 from 3, and 90 from the free throw line in 53 games. Young, I really think, could be the next Steph Curry. He was the 5th overall pick in the 2018 draft from Oklahoma by the Dallas Mavericks, traded to the Hawks for Luka Doncic, and he was very good in the 2019-20 season, earning his first All-Star award. But last season he was not an All-Star. This year he is an All-Star again, and it's well-deserved. At number 4, we have Luka Doncic of the Dallas Mavericks, the guy that Trae Young was traded for. Doncic is an insane player, a triple-double threat every single night in the NBA. And this season, he's averaging 27 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. And this is probably a big surprise to many people that he's number 4, especially considering who I have at 3 and 2. But this is my rankings, and you guys can be mad at them if you want, but it's fine if we disagree. Doncic is a 22-year-old player, and like I said, he's a triple-double threat every night, kind of like Russell Westbrook used to be. He's almost averaging a triple-double right now. He's a good shooter. He can even play some defense. But the Mavericks have not been good since Luka Doncic was drafted, and hopefully he can get some help in the offseason or something, because after Kristaps Porzingis was traded, his secondary star is pretty much Jalen Brunson. But no disrespect to Jalen Brunson, but Kristaps Porzingis is a much better player than Jalen Brunson. It will ever be. At number 3, this is a surprise to probably everyone. I have Chris Paul, probably tied at number 3 with Luka Doncic. But Paul is an insane player who does not have good stats, but the impact that he has with the game is insane. And he is number, I think, like 5 or 6 or something in the MVP race. And this season, like I said, his stats are not very good, but his impact is insane. He's averaging 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 11 assists on 49, 33, 84 shooting in 58 games. But his impact has been there every year of his NBA career since his rookie year. Even in his rookie year, he was averaging great numbers, and that has not changed even in year number 17. Paul is an undersized point guard compared to the average size, but that has not stopped him from becoming one of the best of all time. At number 2, we have, this is very controversial, but we have Ja Morant, who is a first-time All-Star, should have been an All-Star last year, but he is a very fun player to watch, insanely athletic, good shooter, and he is going to be a future MVP multiple times, mark my words, and he is averaging 27, 6, and 7 on 49, 33, 75 shooting and 46 games played. Most people going into the season thought that the Grizzlies would be a play-in tournament team at the best, but they are now looking to be even championship contenders possibly, and that's mostly because of Ja Morant. Yes, he does have insane helpers that are some of the best role players in the NBA, like Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., but it's the Ja Morant show almost every night, and Morant could end up being the best point guard of all time sometime in his career, maybe. And at number 1, even though he's had a down year compared to previous seasons, it's Stephen Curry of the Golden State Warriors. Curry is a NBA champion multiple times and has been at the Warriors since 2009. He's 33 years old and still has 4 or 5 seasons left on his contract. He was the 7th overall pick in 2009. This is his 13th season. Last year he did average 32, 5, and 6. And in his best season, he averaged 35 and 7. But this year he's still averaging 26, 5, and 6 on 43, 38, 92 shooting in 54 games played. And he is, the only thing that's bringing those stats down is his bad start to the season. He's a really good player. He's top 3 point guard of all time in the NBA. People were doubting him coming out of college from Davidson. People were doubting him once he started going cold in the start of the season. But now he is starting to come back, and he looks to be climbing the MVP ladder once again now that he's playing better. So thank you guys for watching my video. If you liked it, just please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you have any questions or anything, please comment. And I will be having more videos coming out tomorrow and other days. But like I said, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Watch my previous videos. And have a good day. Peace.